One of the very first videos we did when we started doing a bit of YouTube was, is it true what they say about the 79 series Landcruiser? Had a great response with about 25,000 views. So we'd really like just to go back and revisit those same topics after travelling about 20,000 Ks, 10 of those towing 3.5 tonne with a combined weight of 7.2 tonne. I'm just going to cover a few of those topics that I first spoke about and see whether they are still relevant today now that I've owned it, and it's truly worked hard for us for the last 20,000 Ks. So as you can see, I've swapped the Bisley for a singlet, and we're not in the backyard or in the shed at home. I have a great setting today. So we have been on the road now for 6 weeks, and we've done about 7,500 Ks constantly towing 3.5 tonne. So there are some real standout points that we can really make about the 79 series Landcruiser. One of those being the fact that they are so basic, which I did speak about in the first video. Can be a good thing. Like, it feels rugged, it's proven to be rugged and tough. You don't have to feel like you're babying it when you're getting in and out, being dirty, and the kids are dirty getting in and out. It's got canvas seat covers on it. As far as touring goes in that respect, it's really good. Comfort wise, yes, it could be more comfortable, I'm not going to lie. The suspension setup is quite stiff, being that this has a GVM upgrade in it. Even without that in it, they are still a leaf sprung ute, so they are a fair bit stiffer. The payoff for that stiff ride though is it is a relaxing drive, because the thing drives nice and straight down the road, which I did state in the first video, but I can definitely confirm that after doing 20,000 Ks nearly towing a caravan, or 10 of that rather, towing a caravan. It just makes it a relaxing drive, and at the end of the day, you're not tired from trying to keep the car on the road. Like a lot of other combinations I've driven have had that floaty, swayy or swervy feeling on the road with a big weight behind it. So there are always payoffs. Yes, it is not overly comfortable, but it is a relaxing drive, that's for sure. And we've just got someone pulling up. So yes, there is always a payoff. The fact that it is fairly stiff isn't an overly comfortable ride, but it is a relaxing drive, if that makes sense. It's nice and straight on the road, and that's a payoff that I'll have to live with. For comparison's sake, I have been in a mate's chopped and stretched 200 series, which I did say in one of the other vehicles, if there was any other modification I'd make to this, it would be not to buy one and buy one of those if I had another $100,000 to add to it, and that's a reality, and we don't. And for the money, it's still a good compromise for a vehicle. The other thing we touched on was power. 100%, we bought it because of its tow capabilities, and the power is awesome. Keep in mind that this vehicle has been tuned. I'd hazard a guess to say over half, if not more, of these things on the road would have had some sort of tune. It just seems to be a vehicle that no one leaves standard, and rightly so. You don't hear a lot of horror stories about tunes and engines blowing up. It seems to handle it really well. It never gets hot. Generally I tow in fourth at 90-95 Ks an hour. If you really want to, you can do 105, 110 in fifth. It does work hard to do it, and it does start to drink fuel. So to date, we've used about 22 litres per 100, 23 litres per 100 is our general average. We've seen up to 26 litres per 100 if I get a bit impatient and you start to push it and hit the go pedal a bit too much. So as far as fuel consumption goes, I honestly think that that's really good at 7.2 tonne. There's so much talk about, especially with petrols and stuff now, the petrol V8, how good they are on fuel. I've owned petrol four-wheel drives before, and now having a diesel four-wheel drive. Diesel is more efficient for towing. Say what you will. I've done both. FJ Cruiser at 5 tonne GCM used a little bit more fuel than this thing does at 7 tonne GCM. We drive them the same. So to me, that's real world testing, and it's proven to us to be a more efficient vehicle for towing, for sure. So like I said, I'm really not going to sugarcoat this. One thing has been a bit of a common theme is I'd really like Willow to come in, and my daughter here, she spends a lot of time in this part of the ute, in the back seat. Do you want to jump in, and what do you really think about being in the back seat for 10,000 Ks in 6 weeks? Is it very comfortable?
Not really.
Not really?
Nah.
You've had better cars, eh?
Just feels stiff, and
yeah, the seat's a bit stiff, isn't it?
And little and tight, and
yep.
Just we don't get enough aircon.
Yeah, there's no rear aircon vents. That's a good point. So these are things you've got to think about when you're putting your family in a car for 4.5 months. Look, the fact that they're at this age, if they were teenagers and like nearly adults, it would be a hard decision because it starts to get cramped. I've spent a little bit of time in the back. My wife spent a bit of time in the back with Willow wanting to sit in the front, and it's really truly not comfortable in there, is it?
Not really, no.
No. So I mean, that is the honest truth. They're not made for their comfort.
It's comfortable. There's just no leg room for an adult. It's not ideal for, if you're got long legs, or it's hot. It's very hot in the back.
With no aircon vent, so it takes a while. You know, you get in the car and the car's really hot, and you get going. The aircon takes a long time to circulate around to the back of the car. So as far as touring and that touring aspect goes, the back seat for the back seat occupants, it's not the greatest. But hey, another compromise. So I'm happy to say that on this adventure we've had so far, I've honestly had to lock the hubs a few times now, which is all part of it and what we enjoy doing. We actually got bogged coming in here today. If we just want to spin around quickly, we're at a little place called Buttons Crossing, and it's like river rock with a bit of sand mixed through, and it's all different in different patches. We come in at 40 to 50 psi on the tyres, and I sort of saw it coming, and we got bogged in it, put in low range, put max tracks under, and she just crawls out. I did say in the original video that if you were going to buy a four-wheel drive for hardcore four-wheel driving, that this isn't the car. In saying that, and I still stand by that, but as a touring four-wheel drive, you probably won't find anything more capable off the shelf, if that makes sense. So to tow 3.5 tonne and do four-wheel driving with 3.5 tonne behind you, yes, it's no rock crawler, but as far as a capable four-wheel drive goes off the shelf, it's been fantastic. It's got twin lock as standard, and it just pulls the weight through so many. Like, we've really done a lot with it now, and it is proving to be super capable as a touring four-wheel drive and getting out of situations that we probably shouldn't bring the van into, but we've had a lot of fun doing it. The last thing I'm going to touch on, which I touched on in the first video, was value for money. For us, with all those other little compromises, and every other ute's just come up in price as well. For what you get in them, if you want a really capable four-wheel drive off the shelf, touring four-wheel drive, with a really good GCM and towing capability, once tuned that is, and a few choice mods. Look, all the other four-wheel drives have come up in price too, so I still think they are relevant, value-wise. Yes, they don't come with a lot of the creature comforts that a lot of the modern utes do now, and that is really a lifestyle choice as to whether you're into that or not, and whether you can handle that. But for us, 100% still good value, to the point where we have penciled in an order for another one. Yeah, we really like it that much. If it works for us when the time comes around, we will definitely do another one for sure. So out of all those compromises and all those negatives that there are, and there are negatives with everything, for us they don't outweigh the positives and the enjoyment we've had out of touring in the old 79 series Landcruiser. So like I said earlier, we're not at home in the shed or in the backyard doing these videos anymore. We're out on the road. We're basically completing a full lap of Australia in 4.5 months and documenting all our adventures along the way. Check out our YouTube page to follow along. We're really enjoying it and really enjoying sharing it with you guys. For now, I'm going to go and sit down by the river with a beer. This is what it's all about. Don't forget, guys, you only live once. Get out there and enjoy it.